Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today I'm gonna talk about my top 5 favorite editions that I own. These are not my top 5 favorite books of all time or anything like that. These are just the books that are my favorite in my collection. And I'm gonna include limited editions, and there might be some overlap between this list and the list of my favorite books that I've read. But not all of these books are on my favorite books of all time, definitely not. But let's start. So let's start off with number 5. We have News from Nowhere by William Morris. This is the Folio Society edition, the fine edition from the Folio Society, published in 2015. This is a facsimile of the Kelmscott press edition, and the design by William Morris is absolutely stunning. You can see the gilded text here, the pages are gilded, it's bound fully in leather, and I was thinking in the past that I would try to collect William Morris, his works, especially like the Kelmscott Chaucer and things like that, or Odes from Horace, the Full Society Limited Edition. But I thought, firstly, it's very expensive to get hold of these kinds of books nowadays, especially on the secondary market. But also, I'm not very fond of his writing, to be honest. His books are absolutely stunning, but his writing is not on par, in my opinion. So that's why I will not collect William Morris, perhaps beyond this book. If I'm gonna keep this forever, I don't know. And News from Nowhere as a book, it's okay. It's a political work, utopian fiction, so it's a bit dry, it's a bit lackluster in terms of poetic and beautiful writing, but the book itself is just stunning. As you can see on the inside, sadly it's not printed letterpress, but it's printed on nice laid paper, very thick paper, cream colored, and just, you can see here, the stunning art by William Morris is just, it's so good. And I've made a video about this book, and I wish more people would check that video out. There's not that many people that have seen the video I made about this book, but definitely please check it out if you want to see the Kelmscott edition of News from Nowhere. Just a piece of art. That's why it's on place number 5 on my list. And on place number 4 we have a book that is perhaps, in terms of production quality, isn't that great. It has a low limitation count, which is good, but some might consider it like a money grab from the Folio Society. But it is the limited edition of Dune by Frank Herbert, the 2020 limited edition that they produced. 500 copies only for this limited edition. It's bound in cloth. It's illustrated by Sam Weber, signed by him as well. And why this book is at number 4 on my list is mainly because Dune by Full Society, the standard edition, was one of the first books I got, and so when I saw this come live on the Full Society site, I decided to pick it up because I thought it would be the perfect way to pay homage to Folio Society for introducing me to their fantastic books. So I got rid of, or I sold my standard edition and upgraded to this one right here, the limited edition from the Folio Society. Now it has not that much special content. The binding is different here. It's bound in cloth instead of buckram. It has a different binding design. And only one extra illustration. I wish the Folio Society would have put in a bit more effort into this book, to be honest. But I wanted to get this book instead of the Centipede Press Dune edition, because mainly for the price, the shipping cost from the US would be a bit too high. But overall I'm happy with this book, especially since I could sell my other edition and just have this one right here. So it's a very nice collector's item, and it's a bit of a way for me to pay tribute to the Folio Society for introducing me to the world of fine editions and fine books. That's why it's on my number 4. And at number 3 we have the rarest book that I own. My one of the absolute gems of my collection. A book that is incredibly special to me. And it's, of course, The Call Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft. This is the Shelter Bookworks limited edition, completely handmade, printed letterpress by Amy Boreso in Massachusetts, USA. It's bound and printed in the same place that the story takes place as well, so it's very special in that way also, but just the craftsmanship that has gone into this book is so amazing. It's bound in buffalo suede, paper boards. These are handmade, painted with hand, and it's printed on circle book paper, printed letterpress, and it has illustrations as well, inspired by the nature and surrounding area of the place that the story takes place in, which is so amazing. Only 40 copies of this book exist, and I was very lucky to get hold of this edition. And yeah, it's just one of those books that if I didn't buy it when I found it on the Shelter Bookworks website, then I would never ever get hold of this book. So it's probably one of those books that I can't ever sell because it's so special. H.P. Lovecraft was one of my first authors that I really got into when I started reading books, so he has a special place in my heart as well. And to get hold of this edition of one of his stories is I'm so lucky to have this book. And it's also bound in a concertina binding, which is also very special. So everything about this book just is absolute the highest quality that I can afford, at least. Yeah, this is number 3. 2 more to go. And at number 2 we have a book that I picked up last year on the Taschen summer sale. Perhaps you can see that it's missing from here. It is the Murals of Tibet companion book. Oh, it's a heavy one. This is a book that I never in my life thought I would hold, because it's usually, I think, always part of the complete Murals of Tibet limited edition from Taschen, and that book is way above any budget that I have for books. So that I was so lucky in the Taschen summer sale of 2021, they decided to sell this book on the sale. But it's just an incredible book. I'm very fortunate to have had a chance to purchase it for a reasonable price as well, because Taschen, of course, as they tend to do, they sold this for a very reasonable price in the sale. And I never thought that they would even sell or consider selling this book. I thought perhaps they would make a smaller art book that they tend to do sometimes. But I have contacted Taschen before about this limited edition, if they will ever make a standard edition of Murals of Tibet, and I have never gotten a positive answer for that. So I'm so lucky they decided to sell this book on the summer sale of 2021. And it was a no-brainer for me to pick this one up, since I'm, as some of you know, I have a big interest in Buddhism, and especially Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Tibetan Buddhism is also something I really enjoy studying and learning about, and the artwork in this book is one of the most incredible things that I have experienced in terms of books, and I don't think Taschen will ever release this again. I think someone emailed me about this. They had asked Taschen if they intend to sell this book again on a sale, and they say that they will probably never do that. So if that was the only chance to get this book, then I'm sorry for all of you who didn't get it, but I'm very, very happy that I got the chance to buy this book. So that's my number 2, Murals of Tibet. And we have arrived at number 1. This will not come as a surprise to most of you. This is one of the books that would definitely also be in my top 5 of the best books or my favorite books that I have read of all time. It is my copy of the Folio Society Limited Edition, Alice in Wonderland, illustrated by Charles van Sandwyk. This was my first ever limited edition. It has been my favorite edition ever since I bought it, really. I don't even know what to say about this book that I haven't already said. It's limited to 1,000 copies. It has a vellum spine with gold letters here. It's printed on mold-made paper. It's signed by Charles van Sandwyk as well, and the illustrations and the layout and the way Charles van Sandwyk tells the stories with his images and the decorations and all of the small details in this book just makes this the most special book that I will probably ever own, to be honest. And I decided to buy this book after I had read Alice in Wonderland many years ago, and I was looking for special or nicer editions because I first read Alice in Wonderland on I think it was my tablet, like an ebook, but after that I was absolutely hooked on the story of Alice in Wonderland, the just fantastic imaginary world that Lewis Carroll created. It was almost like a dream while reading it to the first time, and I'm really into dreaming and dreams and lucid dreams, and perhaps that's why it captured me so well, Alice in Wonderland, because it had that dreamlike nature throughout the story. So I had to just pick up this limited edition. It was a decision I don't regret at all. It's my favorite edition that I own, and I haven't even read this book yet after so many years because I just can't bring myself to do it yet. I just want to have that experience ahead of me in the future because I know it will be so amazing. But one of these days I will of course read it. But right now it sits on my shelf, and I take it out sometimes to look it through. And when I read it, I'm gonna read it in the most mindful way and really take in every single detail of this book. Perhaps I will spend a whole day just reading it. Let's see what I will do. But number 1, my favorite book in my collection, Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, illustrated by Charles van Sandwyk from the Folio Society. That is number 1. No surprises here. But that was all my top 5 books that I own, and not my top 5 books that I have read. That will be another video if you are interested in hearing that. I know some of you are. But yeah, that was all. I have of course made videos about all of these books, so you can check them out if you want to. I will link all the videos in my description and comments. But that was all. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do so. And if you want to support my channel, you can find ways to do so in the comments and in the description. But that was all. If you have questions or anything like that, then please leave them in the comment section. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.